Hola clase, hoy es miércoles 2 de junio and we're going to have our asynchronous class. What we're going to see today is el vocabulario del capítulo 12, la vivienda. La vivienda means the housing, so we're going to see this new vocabulary about the house chores, and the objects inside a house. And then el segundo tema is relative pronouns. The second topic we're going to see today is relative pronouns. So I will need you to go to As You Learn, and if you click under chapter 12, you'll see that here you have the Google Slides of the vocabulary. And if you click on class assignment, Vocabulario capítulo 12, you'll see that you will have the video here, this video that I'm making. And while you're watching this video, you're going to have to complete some exercises. So please keep this open because you're going to have to submit your assignment at the end of this video. So vamos a empezar. El capítulo 12 es sobre la vivienda, the housing. We're going to see some new words about around this topic. The first word is el vecindario, the neighborhood. So we have la vivienda, which I already said, the housing. Obviously you can have la casa for the house, or el apartamento, the apartment. Then we have las afueras, the outskirts. El barrio o el vecindario, which means the neighborhood. I have to say that the word el barrio does have a meaning of, it usually has this connotation of a neighborhood, but a low income neighborhood. Whereas el vecindario can be any type of neighborhood. El vecino y la vecina, the neighbor. In the singular form, in the plural form would be los vecinos y las vecinas. El alquiler, the rent. Mudarse means to move to another house, to move residency. So in Spanish we have a verb to describe when we're changing, when we're moving to another house or apartment or place in which we reside as a house. But in English you have to move, which can mean to move an object, any object, or to move your place, your house, to change houses. But in Spanish we have mudarse, which only means to move to another house or apartment, and then mover, which is not a reflexive verb, which means to move objects, like mueve tu teléfono, move your phone. No. Mudarse is different. Then we have el edificio de apartamentos. The apartamentos are apartments. El edificio is building, so that means the apartments building. And we have alquilar, which means to rent. Alquilar una casa, to rent a house. Alquilar un apartamento, to rent an apartment. Alquilar una vivienda, to rent housing. Then we're going to see the different rooms from la vivienda, so the living place. So we're going to start first with la sala, the living room, la sala. And we have la ventana, the window. La lámpara, the lamp. Las cortinas, the curtains. El sofá, the sofa, el sofá. La mesita, which means the end table, but any table that's like for example the night table in Spanish would also be la mesita. So any table, small table that you have and that you use in, it can be in the living room or in your bedroom, it would be called la mesita. Then we have la aspiradora, the vacuum cleaner. And la alfombra, the carpet. There are some other objects here. This would be el enchufe, for example, the plug, el enchufe. El florero, where you put the flowers on. El florero. The second room, so habitación o cuarto means room. So the second one we're going to see is la cocina, the kitchen. We have el congelador, the freezer. El refrigerador, the refrigerator. El basurero, the trash can. el horno, the oven. La mesa, the table. La estufa o la cocina, the stove. So in Latin America, the stove is called la estufa, but in Spain it's called la cocina. Like the same name of the kitchen is the stove. And then el lavaplatos, the dishwasher. El comedor is the dining room. We have some other objects here. La silla, which means the chair, in the plural form is las sillas. El plato, the plate, los platos, in the plural form. La copa, the glass, but usually the wine glass or any other cocktail. La copa or las copas, in the plural form. El vaso, the glass, or los vasos, in the plural. La servilleta, the napkin, las servilletas, in the plural. Then we have los cubiertos, which means the silverware. We have el cuchillo, el tenedor, la cuchara. We have here also la taza, the mug. Las tazas in the plural form, los cuchillos, los tenedores, las cucharas. El dormitorio. So el dormitorio means bedroom. That word is the word for bedroom. Habitación means room. Y cuartos means room too. So we have here la pintura, the painting. El armario, the closet. La cómoda, the chest with drawers. La almohada, the pillow. La manta, the blanket. La cama, the bed. And we have other things. Here's la luz, the light. La puerta, the door. La ventana, the window. El suelo, the floor. And then we can also have el cuadro, which means the picture. The next room is la oficina, the office, or el estudio, the studio. So we have here el estante, the bookcase, la puerta, the door, el escritorio, the desk, los libros, the books, el sillón, the armchair, sorry. Yeah, so we have other elements here as la silla. It can be la silla del escritorio, the chair desk. La lámpara, again, la lámpara, una lámpara, un gato. Okay, some other parts of the house that are important. El patio, the yard, o el jardín, the garden. El ático, el altillo, la buhardilla means the attic. So el ático is more like the English word, but you can also call it altillo or buhardilla. El sótano, the basement. El garaje, the garage, where you put the car inside your house. El pasillo, the hallway, so it can be el pasillo de la casa if it's the house hallway, el pasillo de la escuela if it's the school hallway, el pasillo is always the hallway. La escalera, the stairs, el balcón, the balcony. So we're going to do an activity. I'm going to need you to go to As You Learn. So you go to As You Learn and you click on where you are in class assignment, Vocabulario capítulo 12, you'll see this. And you'll have to choose one of the following two rooms. So you are going to choose la sala, this picture of la sala, or this picture of la cocina. And then you're going to have to identify, describe 5 furnitures or accessories in this picture of the room that you chose. You can think about colors, and if you click on this, it's going to take you to some infographics with information. For example, here are the name of the colors in Spanish. You can click on each item above and it will take you to some infographics. Yeah. With information about adjectives you can use to describe the things that you see here. So use the vocabulary from the slides, but in case you need a new word, you can use the following online dictionary. Use simple and short sentences. So here you're going to write the name of the room that you chose, and you're going to see the picture. For example, I chose la cocina. So this is an example. So I can see here, and I can see la nevera, the freezer, and I can say la nevera es blanca. So I'm going to describe the color of the freezer. You can describe colors, but also shapes, For example, redondo, circular, cuadrado, rectangular, triangular. Triangular means, triangular. So you can see here some adjectives you can use for this, and you're gonna identify 5 furnitures or accessories and describe them in a simple short sentence. So please don't use any Google Translate. Try to use work with what you know, and there's some resources here that you can use, like the infographics and the information in the slide. If you need any word that you don't know, you can go through to the online dictionary that I posted here for anything. Okay, after you finish that, you'll go to the next exercise, which is describe a room from your house or your apartment. So you're going to choose a room of your house or your apartment, and you're going to describe it. Here are some questions. ¿Es una habitación grande o pequeña? ¿Cómo es? How is it like? Paredes, walls, ventanas, windows, puertas, doors. Muebles. ¿Qué muebles tiene? What furniture? Haz una lista. Make a list. ¿Qué haces en esa habitación? 1 to 2 activities that you do in that room. So at the end, you'll have to write 4 to 6 simple and short sentences about the room that you chose. You're gonna write it here in the number 2. And here I have an example. So for example, the room that I chose is mi oficina, my office. So I'm saying my office is small, mi oficina es pequeña, las paredes son blancas, hay 2 puertas y 3 ventanas, there are 2 doors and 3 windows, tiene un escritorio, 2 sillas, 2 lámparas, 2 estantes y muchos libros. It has a desk, 2 chairs, 2 lamps, and 2 bookshelves and many books. Estudio y trabajo en mi oficina. The activities that I do in my office, I study and work in my office. Me gusta porque es tranquilo. I like it because it's calm. So I want you to write here this short description of one of the rooms in your house or your apartment. And again, just a reminder not to use Google Translator. Try to work with what you know and the vocabulary that you have here. Okay, after you finish that, we're going to see the household chores. So we have here barrer el suelo, sacar la basura o el reciclaje, hacer la cama, sacudir los muebles, lavar los platos, planchar la ropa, poner la mesa, to put or set the table, quitar la mesa, to clean the table. So as you can see, some of them is not a literal translation from English, right? Some other ones are pasar la aspiradora, cortar el césped, hacer los quehaceres domésticos, lavar la ropa. So there is no direct translation of to do laundry, right? In Spanish, you always say to wash the clothes or to wash the dirty clothes, which is lavar la ropa sucia. Sucia is dirty. So you will never say a literal translation of to do laundry. You always say lavar la ropa or lavar la ropa sucia, to wash the clothes, to wash the dirty clothes. Notice that la ropa is a singular noun and is always used in the singular form. So in Spanish you will never use las ropas. La ropa in the singular it can refer to a single clothes, but it can also refer to a collective of items of clothes. So in Spanish you'll see that you will never see the plural form of this noun very often. I will say almost never. You always use the singular form if you're referring to multiple items of clothes. We have also cocinar la comida, cocinar el almuerzo, to cook the lunch, arreglar el lavabo, to fix the sink. So lavabo is sink, arreglar to fix. But you can also use arreglar el carro, to fix the car, or to fix whatever else is broken in your house. Limpiar la casa, to clean the house. lavar el carro, to wash the car. Okay. So we're going to do an exercise. I want you again to go to As You Learn, and you're going to choose between, again, la sala or la cocina, this picture or this picture in here. And I want you to express 4 house chores that you do in that room. So for example, I chose la sala. So en la sala, in the living room, barro el suelo, and other, in total 4 house chores that you do in that room. And our second exercise is also there. This is the last one of the vocabulary. What I want you to do is to make a list of 2-3 house chores that you don't like to do, and in a simple and short sentence explain why you don't like it. It has to be something very simple. Don't try to make very complicated sentences. Just one reason why you don't like it, and something that you know you can express in Spanish without using any online help. So for example, no me gusta lavar los platos porque mis manos se secan. Mis manos se secan means my hands get dry. I don't like washing dishes because my hands get dry. I can also say no me gusta lavar los platos porque es aburrido, because it's boring, example. And then I want you to make a list of 2-3 house chores that you like to do, and in a simple and short sentence explain why. So this is my example, mi ejemplo: me gusta lavar mi ropa sucia porque me gusta tener ropa limpia, right? So I like to wash my dirty clothes or do laundry because I like to have my clean clothes, obviously. So try to write just 2-3 things that you don't like and why. 2-3 things, house chores that you like and why, in very, very simple sentences. And after you finish this one, you can just submit your assignment here. In the next part of the video, we're going to see the relative pronouns. So stop the video here. Okay, so if you go to As You Learn again and you click on the chapter 12, you're going to see that you have relative pronouns, the Google Slides, and the class assignment relative pronouns. So you're going to click here because while you're watching the video, you're going to submit some assignments. So, we have here the relative pronouns, and we're going to see what are they. So what are relative pronouns? Relative pronouns join 2 phrases or sentences that share a specific information, like a noun or a pronoun, to form a more complex sentence. In other words, relative pronouns link together sentences that share one element. By using them, we add information in just one sentence instead of using 2 sentences. So, for example, we have here this sentence: el nuevo sofá está en mi sala. The new sofa is in my living room. Compré el nuevo sofá en IKEA. I bought the new sofa in IKEA. So these 2 sentences are sharing one element, information about the new sofa. So if you want to use relative pronouns and convert these 2 sentences into one, you could say el nuevo sofá, the new sofa that I bought in IKEA, que compré en IKEA, está en mi sala, is in my living room. So from 2 sentences that share one element, the new sofa, you are expressing expressing those ideas in just one sentence. So the relative pronouns that we're going to see are que, quién or quiénes in the plural form, and lo que. So we're gonna go one by one. First, we're gonna see que. It is the most common relative pronoun, equivalent to that in English, but que is used way more often in Spanish than that is used in English. So it is used to refer to a person or a thing mentioned before. For example, esta camisa es mi favorita. This t-shirt is my favorite. Mis padres me compraron esta camisa. My parents bought me this t-shirt. So you're talking about the same t-shirt and you have 2 different sentences, but you want to convert these 2 sentences into one. How will you do that using que? So if you can pause the video and try to do that by yourself, and then I'll show you one of the answers you can have. Okay, ready? I'm gonna show you the answer. Esta camisa, this t-shirt, que mis padres me compraron es mi favorita. This t-shirt that my parents bought me is my favorite. You can also say, there's another option. You can say, mis padres me compraron esta camisa que es mi favorita. So that would be the other option. So you're using que because you are referring to an object. That's the thing that's being shared by the two sentences. And you're transforming these two sentences into one. We're going to see quién now. So we have quién or quiénes. It is usually used after the preposition a, de, and con. So this is very important. Usually quién and quiénes are always going to follow a preposition. It can only be used to refer to a person. Only a person. So que can be used to refer to a person or a thing, an object, an animal, a place. But quién and quiénes can only be used to refer to a person. When it is used without a preposition, it can be used like que, only to refer to a person if the quién phrase is between commas. And we're going to see some examples of this. It has a singular form, quién, if it's referring to one person, or a plural form, quiénes, if it's referring to more than one person. So, sorry. The first sentence is, mi hermana, con quien fui al festival, viene hoy a visitarnos. My sister, with whom I went to the festival, is coming today to visit us. Mis hermanas, sorry, I'm missing an S here. Mis hermanas, con quienes fui al festival, vienen hoy a visitarnos. So, the difference here is that quién is just referring to one person, mi hermana, and quién is referring to multiple people, mis hermanas. Then we have, esta es la chica de quien te hablé ayer. This is the girl that I told you told you yesterday. So, quién is following the preposition de. La mujer a quien saludaste es nuestra vecina. The woman that you greet is our neighbor. So quién is following the preposition a. Then we have Camila Cabello, quien es cubana, es muy famosa en Estados Unidos. Camila Cabello, who is Cuban, is very famous in the US. So you're going to use quién if you have comas. If you don't have comas, you can use que. Camila Cabello, que es cubana, es muy famosa en Estados Unidos. So que would be used without the comas, and quién would be used with comas. So it's this quién and quiénes is always referring to a person, whereas que can refer to an object, a person, and so on. Here are some examples. La foto está en la pared. La foto está torcida. Torcida means crooked. So how would you join these two sentences into one? Using one of the relative pronouns that we saw before. Pause the video because I'm just going to show you right now the answer. Ready? I'm going to show you the answer. La foto que está en la pared está torcida. The picture that is in the wall is crooked. Or you can also say, la foto que está torcida está en la pared. Both of those options are okay. You can only use que because the element that's being shared is an object, it's not a person. So it's only que. So for these following sentences, you're going to go to As You Learn and think from A to D. Think about how will you join these sentences. What's the element it's being shared by the two sentences, and what relative pronoun would you use? Try to join the sentences into one sentence using relative pronouns. We're going to go one by one, and I'm going to show you the answer. So if you don't want to see the answer before you have processed this information and written your how you think it would look like, please stop the video when I tell you. So the first one is el asado, which means the barbecue, es al mediodía. El asado lo hizo mi padre. Try to join these sentences into one using relative pronouns. And write that on As You Learn. Ready? I'm going to show you the answer now. El asado, the barbecue, que es al mediodía, lo hizo mi padre. The barbecue that is at noon was made by my dad. So you can have it here like this, or you can have it as el asado que hizo mi padre es al mediodía. Both of those options are good. You can only use que because it's referring to something, a thing, el asado, the barbecue, not a person. The second one is letter B. David y Moira están cocinando. David y Moira están en la cocina. So use relative pronouns to join together these two sentences into one and write how you think it would look like on As You Learn. In the next slide, I'm going to show you the answer. Are you ready? Okay. The answer is David y Moira que están en la cocina están cocinando. So, que can be used without commas, or David y Moira quienes, because quien is plural because it's referring to two people, están en la cocina, están cocinando. So, quienes, if you use quienes, you have to use commas. The next one is David y Patrick están abrazándose. David y Patrick están celebrando. Write how you think it would look like on As You Learn if you want to join these two sentences into one. Ready? I'm going to show you the answer. David y Patrick que están abrazándose están celebrando. Or David y Patrick quienes están abrazándose están celebrando. So, as you can see, again, you can use que or quienes. Quienes has to be in the plural because it's referring to two people. And has to be between commas, or que without commas. Obviously, you can have also David y Patrick que están celebrando, están abrazándose. And the same, David y Patrick quienes están celebrando, están abrazándose. This is the last one. La familia Rose está comiendo. La familia Rose está en un restaurante. Please think about how you would join these two sentences and write how you think you would join these two sentences using relative pronouns on As You Learn. I'm going to show you the answer. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's fine, sorry. I don't know what happened to the picture. So the answer would be La familia Rose que está en un restaurante está comiendo, or La familia Rose quienes están en un restaurante está comiendo. So this one will be plural because you're talking about multiple people, right? La familia means probably it's more than one person. Okay, we're gonna do one more exercise. So if you scroll down to number 2, you have here 3 questions. And you have to answer the questions using relative pronouns. These questions are about your own information about your life, and you have to use complete sentences. I have this, for example, this question. ¿Quiénes son las personas con quienes te gusta compartir apartamento? Who are the people that you like to share an apartment with? So my example is, las personas con quienes me gusta compartir un apartamento son ordenadas y limpias. So I'm telling that the people that I like to share an apartment with are clean and tidy. You have to answer from 1 through 3 using complete sentences and relative pronouns. And then submit, write your sentences here on As You Learn. Okay, the third relative pronoun that we're going to see, the third and last one, is lo que. And unlike que and quien or quienes, lo que refers to an idea, situation, or past event. And unlike que and quien and quienes, the idea, situation, or past event does not need to be explicitly mentioned before. But you will always recognize it because it is equivalent to the English word what. Not as a question, but you will see what I mean right now. Lo que, as being used as an idea, ¿sabes lo que necesita esta habitación? Más luz. Do you know what this room needs? More light. So this what is not exactly a question. You're not using it as a question, but you're using it to express an idea that you have. So in this case, this what would be exactly the same as lo que. Number 2, lo que, being used as a situation. Lo que me molesta de la ciudad es el tráfico. What bothers me of the city is the traffic. You're not using this what as a question. You're just using it to refer to a situation. So it would be the same. What bothers me? Lo que me molesta. Lo que, being used as a past event. Lo que te dijo Pablo no es cierto. What Pablo said to you is not true. So lo que is referring to that past event. What Pablo said. So it is equivalent to this what, but not used as a question, but to use to refer to a past idea, situation, or event. We're gonna do some exercises. Here are some examples. Lo que tengo en mi oficina. What I have in my office. Lo que quiero tener en mi oficina. What I want to have in my office. So lo que, as you can see, it's exactly the same, used in the same situation as this what. It's not a question. You're just using it as a relative pronoun. So this is a reminder. If the common element is a person or a thing, use que, right? Que as a relative pronoun means that. Instead of, we usually say que means what as a question, as an interrogative question. But in this sense, as a relative pronoun, que would mean that, and this que is used more often in Spanish than in English. If the common element is a person and there is a preposition, follow the preposition with quien or quienes, depending on the number, singular or plural. If there is no explicit common element, lo que as equivalent to what as a relative pronouns. So we have here an example. Me encanta esta corbata. I love this tie. Que me regalaron mis padres. That my parents gave me. Mi vecino, a quien no le gusta interactuar socialmente, siempre me saluda cuando me ve. My neighbor, who doesn't like to interact socially, always greets me when they see me. Lo que quiero hacer es descansar el fin de semana. What I want to do is to rest during the weekend. So keep these tips in mind. Lo que means what, not as a question, and que is more like that. And usually it's used when the common element is a person or a thing. And quien or quienes, you are going to mainly use it when follows these prepositions, a, con, de. We're going to do a couple more exercises. So in As You Learn, I want you to write the word that first comes to mind when you read the following sentences. So in number 3, here you have from A to E. So I'm just giving you things. For example, lo que usas para comer, what you used to eat. So what first comes to my mind is tenedores. Just write the word of the thing that comes first to your mind. Lo que haces al despertarte, what you do when you wake up. Lo que haces, lo que usas para cocinar, what you use to cook. This can be different answers for everybody, you know. Write the first thing that comes to mind. Lo que usas para limpiarte la boca después de comer. What you use after cleaning your mouth after eating. Lo que haces, antes de irte a la cama. What you do before going to bed. So write the first idea in Spanish, obviously, that comes to mind. And write it on As You Learn. Then we're going to go to number 4. You're going to choose que or lo que. Choose between those two relative pronouns according to each sentence. So you have 8 sentences, and you just write here if it's que or lo que. I'm going to show you the answers just for you to have them. But please first work on yourself, and then if you want to check your answers in the next slide, in which I'm going to project the answers, you can do that, but just try to don't see the answers before answering by yourself. Okay, so please stop the video because I'm going to show you the answers in the next slide. Okay, the answers are these ones. You can pause the video if you want to see them more slowly, and if you have questions, we're going to use the last part of this presentation to talk about any questions that you have. This is the exercise number 5. You have this paragraph and you have to complete with que, quién, or lo que. So you have que, quién, or quiénes, or lo que, right? So the singular or the plural. I'm also going to show you the answer on the next slide, so please pause the video, work on that, and then if you want to check your answers, you can see what the answers were in the next slide. Okay, so the answers are these ones. So you can pause the video if you want to see them more slowly. And that's going to bring us to the last one. Number 6, reflect on relative pronouns. Please write down your thoughts about what was easy and what was hard. And if you can, for the things that were hard, if you can explain more so I can give you feedback on that. Okay. Bueno, eso es todo por hoy. I just want you to remind you of the assignments. We have the superstar assignments of the vocabulary, escoger, seleccionar el apartamento. Also a superstar assignment of relative pronouns. And just to remind you about the second oral journal, if you haven't done it, it's about mi familia. On As You Learn. And we will meet tomorrow on Zoom. Mañana jueves nos vemos en Zoom. Hasta luego. Adiós.